Hi everybody and welcome to an Age of Fantasy Skirmish battle report. Beastmen versus Black Orcs. Faewynn has disappeared, and all over Teniras the living, animals and tribes leave their towns and homes to escape to the few areas of the land still safe from the Necromancer's forces. Many escape overnight and leave everything behind. In a ruined castle, a group of Black Orcs search the halls for valuables, and they're in luck. They can almost smell the gold left behind, but they're not alone. A group of Beastmen loyal to the Necromancer have the exact same purpose. Scattered around the castle are small piles of gold. These are objectives, and if the Beastmen or the Black Orcs can control the objectives at the end of the round, they will score 1 for the small piles or 2 for the larger piles of gold at the beginning of the next round. The gold piles will then be removed and can no longer be controlled or contested. Whoever has collected the highest amount of gold victory points at the end of round 4 will win. The leader of the Black Orcs is a Black Orc boss. He is armed with heavy great weapon and he has a tough value of 3. Then he has 4 Black Orcs with him. All of them are armed with great weapons. All the Black Orcs are furious and Headtakers. They have a lower quality than the Beastmen, but they hit harder with their weapons. The leader of the Beastmen is a Beast Lord. He is armed with heavy hand weapon. With him he has 2 elite Beastmen with heavy hand weapons and 2 with heavy halberds. All the elite Beastmen are furious and Headtakers, and the Beast Lord is also furious but not a Headtaker. As mentioned, they have a higher quality, but their weapons are less powerful. The Orcs and the Beastmen have the same defense. So this should be an interesting and very evenly matched battle. The Beastmen will roll the purple dice, and the Orcs will roll the stone red dice, and they will win the roll-off and activate first in round 1. One of the regular Black Orcs will activate first, and he will rush towards the first pile of gold. So he will control it now, and if he can control it all the way to the beginning of the next round, he can collect the gold. This Beastman will rush 12 inches, the full range on the backside of the castle room. He's heading towards another gold pile. This Orc will also rush 12 inches and take position here next to the ladder leading to the first floor of the building. And then the Beast Lord himself will move. He can move to the stairs, up the stairs, and a couple of inches, almost to the room on the first floor. And that will end his activation. Another Black Orc will rush for gold. He can reach the wall and go through the door. A couple of inches on the other side. He is close, but not close enough to control the gold objective. Then a Beastman here will also rush to the stairs, and he will stay at the large gold pile. A very good position. Another Orc will move forward, and this Beastman will rush to the small gold pile here. It's very far from any Orcs, so he will most definitely control it at the beginning of the next round, and that leaves the Black Orc boss to activate. He will take position next to the ladder, but he can also go around the building and attack the Beastmen on the other side if that is necessary, and it most likely is. The final activation is this elite Beastman. He will also just move closer to the building and see where everything goes from here. And that was the end of a first round with a lot of movement. None of the forces have ranged weapons, so they have to get closer to each other to start the fight. But the most important objective for both armies, of course, is the gold. Round number 2. At the beginning of round 2, the Orcs here can collect a small gold pile, this Beastman control a large gold pile, and this Beastman controls a small. That will give 3 victory points to the Beastmen and 1 to the Orcs. A Black Orc begins activation, and he will charge this Beastman. He has 1 attack with his great weapon, but he's furious. He will hit on a 4, but he's looking for a 6. And all he got was a 1, so no hit at all. But the Beastman can, of course, strike back, and he will hit with a roll of 6. That will not be a furious hit, but he will hit nonetheless. It's AP 1 and rending, and the Orc will not defend. He'll take 1 wound. And he will roll a 6 on the wound chart. A completely failed charge. He will be pierced on the Beastman's halberd. And down he goes. Out of this battle, and now the Beastman, of course, is fatigued. He will move up the stairs, he will move past the leader, and into the room next to this small pile of gold. Right now, he's in control of this objective. But maybe not for long. Another Black Orc will climb the ladder onto the first floor of the building, and he will charge. So that will be the second charge against this Beastman. Again, a 4 is needed, and it's a 1 again. And the Beastman, of course, can fight back, but he is fatigued, and there will be no hits. It was close, but the Orc will move back, but he will contest the gold objective. Another Beastman comes flying around the corner. He will charge and go directly for the Black Orc boss. And he will hit with a 3. And he rolls a 6. That is actually a furious hit, but I forgot that here. I will correct it shortly. But it will take a roll of 6 to block, and that is because he's a Headtaker. But the Black Orc boss will defend anyway, and now he can fight back. He will hit with a roll of 4. He has 3 attacks, and he will hit with all 3 of them. And they are AP 3. That will take 3 defense rolls of 6 to avoid injury, and he will fail them all. Nice try, though. 3 wounds to the Beastman. I highly doubt he will survive that. But let's see. A roll on the wound chart. And it's low enough for him to just be shaken. Heavily wounded, but shaken. And he will fight back. And then I forgot the furious hit. So the Black Orc boss will roll another defense die. And he will block the second roll as well. Really tough. So he is uninjured at the moment. The next Black Orc will climb the ladder, and he will charge the same Beastman. Now he will face his 3rd charge in this round, and it's the 3rd roll of 1. Is there some kind of magical aura around him? That question will probably remain unanswered, but he will not hit with his return strike. He is very fatigued. The Beastman who claimed the gold at the beginning of this round will rush 12 inches. He cannot reach anybody with his charge. And then we have the Orc on the other side of the wall. He will also rush to the large gold pile, and he will claim it. If he can hold on to it, he will get the gold, but maybe he can't. He will face another Beastman charge, this time with a halberd, and this time with no hits. But if the Black Orc can remove the Beastman, he will claim the gold on his own. He will hit with a roll of 6. It's not rending, but it's AP 2. And he will force the Beastman to block with a 5. And he rolls a 6. So there will be no wounds in this battle, but the gold pile is contested by both. The Black Orc boss is thirsty for blood, but his thirst of gold is even greater, so he will move to the first floor and take position next to the large gold pile, and he will of course defend it with his life. And the Beastman leader knows that. He will go straight for his throat with a charge. 3 attacks. These 2 are fighting for gold and of course for their lives. The Beastman leader is furious, and he will hit with 3 attacks on a 3, but as the only one in this battle, he's not a Headtaker, so he will only hit with AP 1. 2 of his attacks will hit the Black Orc boss, and he will defend with a 4. and he will not defend any of the attacks. He will be hit twice and take 2 wounds. That's not enough to take him down, but he has already fought, so his return strike against the Beastmen will only hit with rolls of 6. He will have 3 attacks. We will re-roll that one. That doesn't look so good. No, he will not hit with any of his attacks, and that will put him in a weak position, wounded right next to the Beastman leader. That was the end of the second round. The Beastmen and the Black Orcs have gathered around all the remaining gold piles. None of them are claimed by any of the 2 forces. It's the third round. No gold objectives claimed at the beginning of this round, but the Black Orc boss will waste no time. He'll take the chance against the Beast Lord while he has it. So 3 attacks in his charge, and he will hit twice. No furious hits or anything, but he is a Headtaker. So the Beast Lord must roll 6s, and he will fail both defense rolls. So now they are equally wounded. But the Beast Lord can strike back. He will hit with rolls of 3. He is normally very accurate. And that seems not to be the case here. It's a really bad roll. He will fail all his 3 attacks. That was his chance. Only 1 wound would have taken the Black Orc boss into a roll on the wound chart, but he will fail. So both leaders are still standing. Now this Beastman will charge, and he will hit with his heavy halberd. That could be his way to the gold. No, the Black Orc will stand proud and defend the gold. He will make the defense roll, and he will also fail his attack. So they're both still here, guarding the gold. None of them will be able to run away with it. Now this Black Orc will turn his attention to the Beast Lord. He will charge him, and he will hit. Not furious, but it's a hit. And he's also a Headtaker, and that will give the Beast Lord the 3rd wound. He'll fail his defense roll, he'll take wound number 3, and he's forced to roll on the wound chart. It's a 3. He will make the roll. He is not dead, but he's shaken. And that means he's practically taken out of action for the rest of this round. And he cannot claim the objective as long as he is shaken. He can still fight back though, and he will hit nothing. With the Black Orc's attention turned to the Beast Lord, this Beastman could remove this Black Orc and take the gold for himself. But he rolls a 1. The Black Orc can fight back, and he will have to roll a 4, and he will roll 4. It's a hit. So finally this Beastman is hit, and he will have to roll a 5. No good. He fails his defense roll. He will take 1 wound, and a roll of 5 or more now will take him out, and it's a 4. Very close, but he is only shaken. Still bad because he cannot claim the gold now. So right now, all the Beastmen on the first floor of this building are shaken. We still have a fight here on the other side of the wall, and they have both fought before. The Orc here will not hit, and the Beastman will... no, he will also fail his attack. So they will swing their weapons and hit nothing but air. Another Beastman will activate, and he will run as fast as he can towards the door. And I guess he will aid his Beastman comrade here in his fight against the Orc. Final Orc activation is this Black Orc, and he will do nothing. He will not dare to attack, because he is right where he wants to be. He has control over the gold. And the final 2 actions will be to remove both Beastmen's shaken condition, the leader and the regular Beastman. And that means the Beast Lord can control the large gold pile or contest it. So that one will not be claimed. Round 4. At the beginning of round 4, this Black Orc will claim the small gold pile, and that will add 1 victory point to the Orc. Still not enough to take the lead, but it's a small step. The Black Orcs again have the first activation, and the boss will take advantage of that once again. He will charge the Beast Lord with his 3 attacks. And he will hit only once, but that could be enough. The Beast Lord is already heavily wounded, and he will have to roll 6 to avoid the hit, and he will not do that. So he will take another wound. That means a roll of 3 or less is needed now on the wound chart to stay alive. And it's a 4. The Black Orc boss will take down the Beast Lord. The Beastmen have lost their leader, and he also, at the same occasion, claimed the gold. But things can change. Now let's see the battle here. That's another large gold pile, and the Beastman will fail his charge. Could the Orc remove him for good now? It's a roll of 4. And again, no hits in this battle. The Beastmen will back off 1 inch, but they are not finished yet, I guess. This Orc will leave the shaken Beastman alone. He will step down the ladder, and instead he will try to stop the other Beastman. And he will also fail. And the Beastman will fight back, and he will hit. AP 1. The Orc can defend the attack with a roll of 4. And that's a tough defense. They hit bad and they have a tough defense. Not many wounds will come from that. But it's not over yet. There is still 1 Beastman here, and he will now climb the ladder, and he will go straight for the Orc boss. That was a hole in the Orc defense line, and he will also hit. He's a Headtaker. The Orc boss will fail his defense roll. He will take his 3rd wound and roll on the wound chart. That will be a catastrophe for the Orcs. They will lose the gold pile. But first, let's see how bad it is. It's a 1, so he's shaken. He's still standing, but he cannot claim the gold in his current condition. So right now, the Beastmen have captured the objective. The Orc boss can fight back, and he will hit with 1 of his fatigued attacks. So the Beastman might not be standing for very long. He will fail his defense roll and also take a wound. And that's his wound number 4. That will be almost impossible for him to survive that. And yes, a roll of 2 is too much. He will be taken down by the Black Orc boss. It looked good, but it turned out to be really bad. This Beastman will continue with his original plan. He will try to claim this gold pile from the Orcs, and that takes a hit at least. And it's a roll of 1. That was the chance, I guess. And the Black Orc will also fail with a 5. He is fatigued. He has already fought several times. So these 3 will just be standing, swinging at each other, looking at the gold. The final Black Orc will do nothing but move to the pile of gold, and he's not shaken. He can claim the gold. This Beastman will remove his shaken condition, and this Orc will also avoid any fights and defend the gold pile. And that will be the end of this round and also the battle. The Black Orcs will capture this large pile of gold, and that will give them 2 victory points. They will win with 4 victory points against 3. 3 Beastmen got away from this battle alive, and they took 3 gold victory points with them, but they also lost their leader. This is a loss. And the Black Orc boss and 3 of his Black Orcs won this battle with 4 gold victory points, and they only lost 1 in the battle. The line between good and evil is blurred at the moment in Teniras, in the grasp of the Necromancer and with Faewynn gone. This time they went for gold, but who knows what other secrets this castle could hold. Maybe we will know next time someone comes close to this old castle. Thanks a lot for watching this battle report. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you'll join me for future bad rips.